So in this video, Neil De Beer is actually blasting SABC for what many have called an anti-unity move by the TV station for its choice not to broadcast the Springboks games that are actually recently going on at the moment. Let's listen to Neil De Beer's complaints about the TV station SABC for not broadcasting the Springboks game. And I'll be back for some really interesting analysis on the reasons why the SABC has chosen not to broadcast this game at this moment.
In my opinion, the Springbok rugby team has been one of the biggest unifiers in this country. It exceeded politicians and anything that they could do to do more for us to become one. If you argue with me, I'm open, but this is my opinion. The SABC, shockingly today, cowardlessly, today, on game day, tells the people of this country they will not broadcast a national team playing against Ireland today. Can I tell you that that is not shocking, it is not sad, it is disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I don't agree with you. I don't agree with what you're doing, because no money in the world, no money, no parliament, no politician can get to the people's heart like a Springbok rugby team, like a national team. And you decide today you're not going to do it. Now, the reason you are giving is because of an apparent court case, which comes from the fact about TV rights, which comes then from the fact money. That's it. Now, let me quickly tell you something. The Springbok team is not your team. The Springbok team is the people's team. Because it's not the people that can afford DSTV or the capacity of 50, 60,000 that can sit in the stadium, because that on itself is 1,000 rand. If you want to take you, your wife and your 2 kids, it's petrol, it's cool drink, it's hamburger, it's tickets. You can't afford it. This team belongs to the country. It doesn't belong to you. And you've just missed an opportunity to make a lot of people smile. And for that, I'm very sad. That is my art here. You have the gall and the guts to come and ask us to pay TV licenses. But you can't even do this. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Brilliant, guys. What do you guys think? You have it from Neil De Beer. For me personally, I'm slowly beginning to love, rugby, and especially growing up in West Africa, rugby isn't something that comes to mind easily as one of the games you want to watch as a kid or as a youth. What comes to mind a lot is the soccer, the football, and coming from Nigeria especially. And we have a lot of stars that have played in the Nigerian local league and also in the international league. So football, even in Sierra Leone, Cameroon, most of the Western and West African and Central African countries, there are many South African stars as well, actually well known across the continent. But for rugby, it still feels like a new game or new event for the African to really grasp, and getting used to the fact that we have Africans, especially South Africans, representing Africa at the rugby games is actually something that's slowly creeping up. Among many West Africans, and I would argue probably East Africans and other Africans as well. So I think it's something that it would be really nice to grasp and understand, and slowly start supporting, as it's a game that is dominant on the continent of Africa, especially in the likes of West Africa. And I know this is one of the elements that have brought Gaten McKenzie to also criticize Julius Malema in one of the videos I made on this channel, where I think Julius Mandema had some statements to make about the Springboks victory. And at that time, when the nation was really celebrating a major win for all of South Africa, there was now this comment coming from the EFF. I think Gayton McKenzie really wasn't happy about that. And so I think that's probably what many ascribe now to be a move by the SABC not to broadcast this game by the Springboks. I really don't know, but that's a interpretation I hear from many of the comments I've seen around concerning the reasons why SABC has refused, to broadcast the game between the Springboks and I think the team in Ireland. But anyway, I thought for this video to really just go through some media reports to really understand what's the story from SABC's angle and to understand why South Africans wouldn't be enjoying, free viewership of this game between the Springboks and Ireland. So it says that there's a report I found here on Tech Central. I'll be actually going through two articles to really understand what really went wrong, from Times Live and also Tech Central. So Tech Central actually explained it, saying that the SABC will not show the Springboks versus Ireland rugby tests after the public broadcaster withdrew from a deal with SuperSport. All right. So it says that this SABC will no longer broadcast the upcoming rugby test matches between the Springboks and Ireland on the 6th and 13th of July. The announcement follows a legal action by Open View owner eMedia earlier this week. And it argues that, in separate statements last weekend, SABC and MultiChoice announced that last Saturday's T20 Cricket World Cup final, as well as two upcoming rugby test matches between the Springboks and the Ireland on the 6th and 13th of July, would be broadcast on SABC platforms. However, the agreement restricted the SABC from airing the matches on its channels that are carried on eMedia's platforms, notably free-to-air satellite platforms OpenView. So now it says that the SABC was also restricted from streaming the matches on SABC Plus, which is its fast-growing streaming platform. And an April ruling by the Competition Tribunal prohibited such agreements between the two broadcasters for a period of 6 months or until a competition commission makes a determination over an earlier complaint by eMedia in this matter. So it says that eMedia this week filed papers at the Competition Appeal Court to enforce the April order, saying that, the SABC now saying in a statement that the recent urgent litigation at the Competition Appeal Court over the broadcast rights to the test matches necessitated that the SABC review its decision to continue with the sub-license agreement concluded with MultiChoice. So in what many have actually termed as regrettable, it says that according to the statement, all 6 inbound Springbok test matches, including the 2 originally scheduled for video broadcast on SABC2, will be broadcast on SABC radio stations, including Motsewending FM, Lesedi FM, Tobela FM, Ukozi FM, Umbolowene FM, Gwala FM, Ikwezesi FM, and I think SABC radio stations anyway. It also says that, the SABC will also strive to achieve its sports broadcast mandate without compromising its commercial objectives. And also in a separate statement, MultiChoice said that it noted that the public broadcaster's decision to terminate the sub-licensing agreement signed with SuperSport, which would have allowed it to broadcast the Springbok test matches against Ireland starting tomorrow at Lotus Field. So MultiChoice is actually, noting that the choice by SABC not to terminate that sub-licensing agreement, you see. And also it says that while the SABC's decision is regrettable, MultiChoice fully respects and accepts the decision, and MultiChoice will continue engaging with SABC in seeking a working relationship that will benefit both viewers and sports bodies, you see. So the second report actually goes on to take us a little bit deeper into what actually had transpired and why SABC has chosen not to go deeper, not to broadcast this. So it says that The first test between the world's top ranked Springboks and second place Ireland that takes place at Loftus Stadium in Pretoria on Saturday, especially while the second clash is scheduled for Saturday, July the 13th at Durban, will not be broadcasted by SABC. It says that a week ago, SABC announced that it had reached a deal with the pay TV channel SuperSport to televise the clashes on a delayed basis. However, SABC has since issued another statement saying the matches will now only be broadcast through its radio stations and not SABC2 as initially stated. So this is where many actually are wondering what really happened and why SABC, because it seems like the SABC now is the party driving this choice not to air the thing, the games, probably because of some agreement glitches or whatever. It seems it's not really clear. But anyway, they argue that the decision follows the recent urgent litigation at the Competition Appeal Court over the broadcast rights to the test matches, which necessitated the SABC to review its decision to continue with the sub-license agreement concluded with MultiChoice, right? It also argues that in April, the Competition Tribunal granted e-media interim relief pending the final determination of its complaints to the Commission or for 6 months on the case brought forward by e-media. Now, it says that this was after e-media accused MultiChoice, which is the owner of SuperSport, of abusing its alleged dominant position by concluding anti-competitive and restrictive sub-licensing agreements with SABC. So we see a lot of politics going on here in this whole media broadcasting business, and it's really a mess. But so anyway, it says that e-media alleged that MultiChoice prevents SABC from broadcasting major sporting events sub-licensed to SABC and on the SABC channels carried on e-media's open view platform, right? And at the moment, SABC is now prohibited from transmitting or making available the sub-licensed products, broadcasts of sports events on platforms owned or operated by e-media through its open view channel. So it appears that this is a kind of like a glitch between e-media, SABC, and all of that. Anyways, it goes on to say that SABC added that it will always strive to achieve its sports broadcast mandate without compromising its commercial objectives in a statement. It says that the SABC remains committed to broadcasting sports of national interest, and to this end, the following SABC's African language stations, which include Motswedin FM, Lesedi FM, Tobela FM, Ukozi FM, Umblobo, Wenene FM, Ligwalagwala FM, and these radio stations that actually I believe are controlled by SABC will now be broadcasting the Springbok matches against Ireland. So that's where we are at the moment. I really do not know or have the authority to conclude that this might be an anti-unity move by SABC not to broadcast the Springboks game. But it's rather unfortunate because it would have been, a national kind of like a thing of national pride, whatever the results are, that South Africans can sit down together and watch, blacks, whites, Indians, whoever can sit down together and watch the games by the Springboks, which is a representative of a national treasure, which the country, the nation of South Africa actually has and owns to its own pride, you see. And so how Gaten McKenzie as sports minister will respond to this is also not clear, but it's really, I would also agree that it's quite unfortunate, you see, and it appears that SABC actually had its hands and legs tied because it appears that the choice not to stream these matches, these games, are actually from probably powers above SABC. We don't really know, but anyway, the fact that it's going to be offering these games on radio actually is not, for me, it's really disappointing, and I really feel the pain of Neo De Beer in this video. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you have any thoughts about this? Do you understand? Do you give us more understanding on why SABC had to go this route? Share your thoughts in the comments.